Evening, late night freaks. I'm coming at you from the small hours to bring you a read straight from the hip with lots of lip. We're diving into this Price is Right Betch reading series, and we're diving into the read for door number 3, okay? And this thimble that sets the theme for what we're diving into here. I really got that there is something that needs to be mended. That's the soul work right now. This is a big key to moving forward. I feel this has to do with repairing a rift, okay? But I think that the details matter here, Small things can make a big difference, okay? There's subtleties involved in this situation that you need to be live to. You also need to be aware that small gestures make a big difference. Maybe you don't feel that you're in a space where you can make yourself too accessible, and even just taking a little step towards this reconciliation energy, showing a desire to repair the rift can make a big difference, bigger than you imagine. But it's also very essential for you to remember what happened in the past, not to lose track of that, because I do see there is a need for mindfulness and a certain delicateness to protect, to protect without being too guarded. Okay, you're extending your hand, but you're making sure you got yourself a little covered here. Okay, you don't want to get stuck again. You don't want to get wounded again. You know, that's what I'm really picking up. And I just had the Princess Bride come into my mind, and the scene with the sword, with the swords, and he's all, it's just a prick, Oh, I mean, there might be a part of you that's trying to pretend like this is just a little thing. Be careful about, sort of just having such an urge to smooth things over that you don't talk about the tough stuff, like, hey, what the fuck happened back there? We really need to air this out. I feel like there's a need to be delicate, though, in how you approach this situation, and how you go about repairing this rift. But I think we're looking at a case of some kind of healing, some kind of actually doing the work to bring things back together again, but maybe in a new way, maybe not in the way that it's been done before. And it's the little things that matter here. You may feel like, you've been so hurt in this situation, you don't really feel like extending yourself a whole lot. And that's okay, take whatever steps you can in moving forward that feel appropriate to you. And you're wise. You're wise to remember the ways that you were hurt before, and, to move forward mindfully, making sure that you're not putting yourself in an unnecessarily vulnerable position if you feel like you could set yourself up to get hurt again. And it was 4:11 on the clock when I went into that, and I feel like that's a message that's coming through. It's like you need a little bit more information in this situation. I feel like a lot was hidden from you. And I think that you're just sort of seeing the tip of the iceberg. And I think it's important that you really get down to the bottom of it. That's what I'm picking up. You need to get down to the bottom of it, but you have to be very delicate about the way that you do this. And small steps, small steps. Don't go forward in leaps and bounds, okay? Just Small steps. Take it easy, all right? And it's possible to do some repair work here, bring things back together again, find some kind of healing, some kind of resolution in this matter. And I do feel there's going to be a gesture made towards you too. I feel like this person that you've been at odds with, they're going to reach out to you, and they're going to give some kind of token. I feel like there's going to be some small gift, some small token. It doesn't seem like much, but it's a start. It's an opening, and just to remember to be open. To be open. If this is a connection that you really want to heal and you want to find reconciliation, be open. Be open to the small gesture. Be open, because small things sometimes lead to big turnarounds, okay? It just takes time. And look beyond the small gesture to what's at the root of that, what's at the heart of that, which is a desire to find the way through, with all this talk about needles, it reminds me a bit of like threading the eye of a needle, right? It's like there's just like such a small space, like such a small window of opportunity to find the way through. And I feel like, when you're given that window of opportunity, take it. Don't hesitate, because I have a feeling you'll be kicking yourself in the ass if you don't at least explore this. At the very least, I think that there are answers that are going to come forward for you, and it may be a little sensitive as you dive into this territory, but what comes out as the end result is something really beautiful. This is the big feeling I have coming forward right now. We'll see what the cards have to say about it, okay? And we'll dive right in here. We're going to look at the tarot first. So, oh yes, okay, definitely. All right, we have 9 of Swords here, okay? I see a lot of worry, a lot of anxiety. You may have been having a hard time sleeping. There is this lion energy that's sort of haunting this woman in this card here. And this lion reminds me of the Strength card, right? So there might be a Leo in connection with your situation. When I'm calling out astrological signs, that can be any strong placement in the natal chart. So sun, moon, rising, Venus, north node, or even just a packed house. If the house of Leo, the 5th house, is really loaded with planets, even if they're not in the sign of Leo, it could have an influence, okay? But it reminds me of that Strength card, you've really had to find that inner strength to be able to overcome your fears around the past. I feel there's fear around the past. It's almost like there's something that you intuited. You don't have any proof. I feel like this is something that's come through for you intuitively about somebody that was part of your life in the past. And you don't have all the answers. There's a lot of gaps of information, and yet this thing hounds you because you feel like what you've really needed to find your healing is the truth, and you've had to sort of just fall back on trusting yourself, but there's this piece of you that still questions, do I have all the answers? Do I have a clear view of this situation? I think you've struggled with it quite a bit. And I think there are a lot of things from your past that still kind of loom over you. And this has caused you a great deal of stress. And again, it could be in connection with a Leo. It could be sort of the ghosts of the past have been rattling their chains and and you realize, oh, I mean, we still have that to take care of back there. We never did quite get that ironed out. I feel like, yes, with this moon card here, this does really speak of your intuition has come forward. Your intuition's been what's been informing you in this matter. You don't have any solid proof, but there's just, it's one of those things. You know what you know when you know it. And you're wanting that illumination to come through. You're wanting that illumination to come through. I almost said elimination. So I feel like you're really wanting to eliminate this influence. I feel like it's had a very suppressive effect on you. It's something that has really robbed you of your peace of mind, and you're just wanting freedom from this. It's like the truth sets you free, right? You're looking for the truth, but you feel like there's a lot of this like kind of glamour casting energy. Not all is as it seems. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, just outside of your scope of awareness, but you're picking up the energy of it. It's like people can lie to your face. People can tell you pretty story 11:11 on the clock. All right. They can tell you they got your back. They can tell you they're true to you. They can tell you they're loyal. They can tell you, don't worry about it. But energy never fucking lies. And I feel like, ooh, Ted just gave big confirmation there. And I feel like you've picked up the energy. And because of this, you have put up some blocks, I feel like you've been protecting your boundaries. I feel like you've been guarding your heart. And you've also been turning your intention inward. You've been trying not to get distracted by what's going on around you. In fact, I see you doing some deflecting energy. You may have done some return to sender work, just, sort of sent back energy that's not yours to hold, that you could feel has been put on you. I do see a lot of this, and you've been trying to come into a place of clarity. I feel you've also been really pulled in two directions. You're not quite sure what step you should take to move out of the crossroads. And in terms of this particular connection where there's this need for healing, I also feel that it's a case of there's been a stalemate here. The fighting has stopped. There's no current drama ensuing. It's sort of like that moment of pause. And it's a very like pregnant pause. There's a lot held in that space. And it's sort of this sense of wondering, is this the quiet before the storm? Or is this the moment before it all kind of comes together? I get the truth I need. And I move forward into the next stage, beyond all of this that kept me in the dark and kept me stuck. And you're waiting until you really connect with what feels like the right moment to act. And I think a lot of what has held you back is that you feel like you're not seeing the truth. You don't have all the facts. You don't have all the information. And so it's sort of keeping you in this holding pattern. In a way, this elimination of the truth, this withholding of the truth has been a way that others have been able to manipulate the situation and sort of put themselves in the power position. And this is unfair. There's an inequity here. I think that it really comes down to, at the end of the day, trusting what you feel, trusting your truth, trusting your intuition, and not being held back from taking action and stepping out of that crossroads by waiting to receive the truth from someone else. You don't necessarily need to have what you know is true, like in your bones, validated by somebody else outside of you. And yes, it would be wonderful if somebody could offer you the truth, right? Maybe you feel like you need that. You need that accountability in order to create healing in this situation, because you feel like some fucking shady shit went down and I want to look into this a little more, get some clarification here. We do have 3 shadow cards coming up here, okay? So let's see what kind of shadiness has been going on. Oh, this is really wild because we got the 2 of spades here, okay? Stalemate energy. This really mimics that like 2 of swords energy, right? Okay? You've been at a holding pattern. You've been stuck, and I feel like you've been purposefully stuck. The withholding of information, the withholding of the truth is actually, it's like a control mechanism. Like, this is how you're being sort of like contained. That's how I want to put it. Contained. If you don't have the truth, it makes it very difficult for you to make an empowered choice. It also can be confusing, right? It can be confusing. And confusion is often used as a tool of manipulation, all right? So do be live to that. Do be live to that. You know, if somebody makes you feel confused, if you feel confused in their presence or uncertain, you don't know what's true, and if you can really rely on this person, then by all means, like, pull your energy back. You really would be best served by paying attention to how you're responding to the energy. We got the 4 of hearts with the 10 of hearts. I do feel this has to do with a relationship, and there's a lot of dissatisfaction here. You know, this is not all it was cracked up to be. And here's what I think you're not seeing. I think that you thought you found your 10 of cups. You know, you thought you found your 10 of cups. Remember when we did the initial card selection, this is what's on the other side of the door. Your true fulfillment, your 10 of cups, your happiness, right? And usually with the 10 of cups, it's shared with another person. This is very much a card of love and romance, and, you know, that when you're first falling in love and you have that new beginning, and you're really coming into the fullness of union, you know, with another. But this can be anything that gives you that feeling of landing in your heart and coming into alignment with what's right for you. I am really strongly picking up that this pile is about love, okay? This pile is about a love relationship and some kind of desire to have reconciliation or healing within a relationship, even if it's found within a release. I do feel like there is like sort of like this fake soulmate energy here. It's more like you found somebody and you thought that this is my person, but it actually was just a big fat fucking lesson that you needed to learn. You know, you didn't get the memo the first time, you know. So sometimes life hands us tests and we experience pain, you know. We experience pain, and sometimes that makes us put up our armor, right? We go into that 2 of swords energy, you know. We block ourselves off, you know, because of the ways we've been hurt. But I think like the message that's really coming through here from spirit is like, look, yes, be aware of what happened before, but trust in yourself a little bit more. Trust in your ability to have your, you know, bullshit meter, you know, on point, you know, to be able to detect when somebody ain't being right with you. You trust yourself to know how to read the energy. Trust yourself to know when something doesn't feel right, okay? So, you know, you don't need to be so guarded. You don't need to protect yourself so much from, you know, future experiences of exploring matters of the heart. Okay, you just need a little protection. Okay, just a little bit. You know, don't let it shut you down. But I do see there was, you know, really a lot of disappointment in a relationship. You know, it looked like the 10 of cups, but it only left you with 4, you know, left you shortchanged. But this is what's on the other side, okay? This is what's on the other side. I'm getting this energy that, you know, something may need to be sacrificed. The lesson, may need to be sacrificed for the true soulmate to come in. That's what I'm picking up. Yeah. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think you're really dealing with you're really dealing with a mess to clean up here, okay? I think that this relationship you were in, it did a number on you. It's really had you in two minds. I think you were dealing with this double caveman here. You were really dealing with somebody who was kind of like a Neanderthal, you know? I think this person has been very coarse with you. It's sort of been like a tough love experience. It wasn't the soft, beautiful, you know, sweet, romantic ideal you've been hoping for. You've been dealing with somebody who's very, very set in their ways, very outdated thinking, very much intractable, you know, like not giving at all, not yielding at all. They're more likely to just like club you over the head and, you know, drag you by the hair and you know, they want to be the boss. They want to be the one in charge. It's their way or the highway, and they got like that energy squared. There's just no compromise there. I think there's a lot of entanglement energy here too with the parasitic fruit, you know. Oh, it looked tempting. It looked so delicious, you know. You wanted to take a bite of the apple, and I mean, look at what happened, you know. It's like biting into the poisoned apple. Sometimes something looks good on the surface, you know, we want to take a bite, but it doesn't really nourish us, right? And I feel like there's a real need here to do cord cutting. There's a lot of energy that's not yours tapped into you here, okay? And I feel like a lot of this has to do with you know, sexual energy in particular, you know. I feel like somebody's been draining your power from how they were courted into you sexually. I'm really picking this up. And there is a need to do some clearing work. You might need to do some womb healing, some womb clearing, all right? I'm feeling that really, really strongly here. And this applies, you know, to both women and men, all right? I really feel like there was something that looked really good, but it ended up being like a rotten apple, man. It only takes one rotten apple to spoil the bunch. And now this energy is really draining you. You know, this is a very like parasitic, you know, kind of energy here. There is a need to do some clearing of this. It's an infinite cosmic mess. I feel like this situation created a bunch of drama, a bunch of upheaval in your life. And maybe it feels like there's nothing on the other side of this. Like maybe you feel completely shut down to love in general. You might be like over it, like, okay, I've had enough with this kind of a situation. And you might be overly guarded, you know. I'm really picking that up, overly guarded. There's something coming in that's like, you know, no, you know, your heart can mend. Your heart can mend. You don't need to be so protected. Give it a chance, you know? And I don't know. I'm picking up this might be like a chance to, you know, heal your heart. And in healing your heart, you're able to like clear out this old energy, and it actually finally allows you to be open to a new start in love. And there is like this reconciliation healing work here. But I'm getting this like impression like a false soulmate, okay? Like they were a soulmate. They were there to teach you a lesson, but they're not like your person. You thought somebody was your person. It looked good on the outside, but it was there to give you some strong medicine, okay? That's what I'm really getting, strong medicine. And now I feel like just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. It's like there's this message coming in that life wants to give you some of the sweet stuff now, but in order for you to receive that, you have to be willing to sort of like clear out that old energy from your space so you can be open to letting it in. Because if you're too guarded, you can't receive the sweetness life wants to bring you. Oh my goodness. Yeah, look at this here. This is really wild. Okay, so we have zombies, so we know that you're dealing with like Night of the Living Dead here. Okay, you got past energy coming back. I think something that you thought was done and buried is going to be resurfacing. All right. And it might feel like it's a little disruptive at first. I feel like you're really going to be holding this person accountable. You want some fucking answers because they really disrupted, you know, the calm, the peace that you had established in your life. Like they really threw a wrench in the works, and you've been in this position of trying to keep everything balanced, everything managed, and it's sort of like, listen, you little twerp. I want to know why you caused all this bullshit. Like, what happened back there? I want some fucking answers, and I'm going to hold you to it. Again, try not to strong arm too much, because I think that actually could rock the boat even further. It's going to take you further away from getting those answers you seek. And right now it's about moving through this a little bit more sensitively. I think there's really a need here to get out of the head and more drop into the heart center. You got the keys. You got the keys to open your door. Look at how many keys you got. You got 5 keys to open your door. They're all inside of you, okay? And there's a light shining down on that door. It's like it's time for you to move away from this and step on through to your new beginning. All right, so let's see what the meme card is for you. Why must things be this way? Oh, and it's child pose, okay? Again, child pose is all about, allowing yourself to be in that vulnerable space and to understand that the true strength and the true power is when we are so rooted in our own personal strength and our own sense of self-respect, our own sense of love and appreciation for the challenges we've overcome. And also, I feel like a lot of you really felt like you moved through this situation with the highest integrity. And so you're kind of not understanding, like, how can I show up and be so vulnerable and still, still deal with people who want to take advantage of me. And I think this is really about moving into that place of like radical trust. Like, let yourself go there. I forget the quote, but it's sort of like saying, I'm totally paraphrasing here. I'll put it in the comments, okay, when I figure it out. I can't remember the exact quote, but it's sort of like saying, like, falling in love, loving somebody is sort of like handing them a knife and telling them exactly, like, how they can hurt you the deepest. It's a trust fall, big time. And I feel like there is this new opening in love coming through, but it requires you to do a trust fall. You have to allow yourself to be vulnerable in order to let this in. You're so like closed off right now. Like, open up more, open up. There's all this, like, this covering the heart, this protection. There's this need to come forward, to be naked, to understand the power of that, to understand the power to be able to be still in that soft place, that place of receptivity, how powerful that is. It has so much potency, okay? And then we got these cards right here. When you're swimming and your foot grazes some seaweed, okay? It's like, you're scared because you can't see what's beneath the surface, all right? But seaweed's actually very nourishing, It may be just what you need. So don't let fear hold you back just because, what you're feeling is very activated. I think it's very activated for you because it's important to you. It means something to you. When the flight attendant wakes you up from your coma to offer you a bag of stale peanuts. Yeah, I think you've been on a long, strange trip, and you're just sort of coming out of it. You're snapping out of it. You're waking up to the reality of your situation, and you're realizing, like, I signed on for this. It's sort of a reality check for you when there's no toilet paper left, so you have to twerk. Whatever it takes to, get rid of this shit, Find some humor in it. Find some humor in it because there's something on the other side for you here, all right? Aurora of Gamma. I think if you do this work and you clear out this energy that's not yours to hold anymore, you're really going to have your glow up. I see you coming into your time of shining. I pick up big Empress energy, big Emperor energy here. I really feel like your true heart connection is coming, but it comes through what at first looks like